We live in a world where some people make things happen while others just watch them happen. Yes. So which part are you? Are you part of those that make things happen or part of those that just watch those things happen? The book we'll be reviewing and this episode was written by Robin Sharma. Robin Sharma has written several books. He's written books like The 5 a.m. He's an author and also a public speaker. He wrote The World Changers Manifesto. Yes, there are people who change the world, and there are people who just watch and wonder how those people were able to change the world. And it depends on which category you are. But if you're part of those people who want to change the world, I would advise you read this book. So let's dive quickly into the World Changers Manifesto, where I share some valuable lessons I've learned from this book that I would really want you to learn. Let's go! Welcome back. So an overview of the World Changers Manifesto is this book talks about different things, a lot of things, believing in yourself. It tries to build your confidence about yourself. One of the things I love mostly about this book is the fact that at the end of every chapter, you have a reflection page where you're able to write things you have learned, the action that you were planning to take, and any other thing that you have learned from this book. The book is also not bulky. It's very small. He has short chapters which are practical that you can actually apply on a daily basis. The author of this book explains to us how children are able to dream. They're not scared of their dreams not being actualized. They don't have fear. They have so much faith in pursuing their dream. Have you had a child dream of doing something that seemingly looked impossible in your eyes, and you're wondering where he has the audacity to say that, or where he's getting the faith, the belief? Have you tried picking an object that is so heavy, and the moment you couldn't do that, a little child comes and attempts to do the same thing? They do not have fear or disbelief. They just believe that they are able to do this thing. And so if you must be a world changer, you must have the same kind of faith as a child. It says that your faith must be bigger than your fear and the voice of your critics. I guess you didn't hear that. Your faith must be bigger than your fear and the voice of your critics. So if there are people who are criticizing you for your dreams, your faith must be bigger than those people. And even the fear that lives around you must also be bigger than them. And where does that fear come from? It says children do not necessarily have fear in them, but they learn that fear from things, the people they interact with, from the things they see. They learn it from the things they hear. We communicate fear to them, and so they begin to realize that there are impossibilities in this world that they live in, but they were not necessarily born with that fear. So your faith must be bigger than your fear and also the voice of your critics if you must be a world changer. He tells his story about how difficult it was for him to sell the copies of his book. He had so much faith and believed that this book was going to be sold and people were going to love it. And that was what kept him. And today his books are one of the best sellers in the market. Bestseller. Yes. So what are other lessons you can learn from the World Changers Manifesto? He said successful leaders love learning. Successful leaders are not okay with the information. They do not just settle and are so comfortable with where they are. They go for knowledge. If you must be successful and if you must be a world changer, you must go for knowledge. You must be ready to learn, unlearn, and relearn. If you must be successful at anything, you must not be stuck by the old information you have in your head and feel like this is all that there is to whatever you know, because there are always new things to learn. So know that learning continues, and every leader, every successful leader is a learner. You don't go out of learning. Another lesson from the World Changers Manifesto is your experiences were necessary to get you to where you are today. Some of us feel we have gone through so much pain, we've gone through so much trauma, and our lives will amount to nothing. That is a lie. Your life experiences are the reason why you are who you are and where you are today. Some of those pain you went through were necessary for you to get to where you are today. So don't feel bad because you had a terrible experience as a child or because something happened and then you write yourself off. Read about the best leaders in the world. Read about people who changed the world. They had terrible experiences that was good enough for them to just give up and feel that they would amount to nothing, but they refused to settle for less. They went for what they believe in, and their faith was bigger than the voice of their critics. Another lesson you can learn from the World Changers Manifesto is it takes 66 days for you to form a habit. He said anything that you practice consistently for 66 days become permanent and automatic. Are you trying to build a habit? Are you trying to unlearn and relearn something? Can you keep up with the consistency of doing that? Can you make sure that you have started and continue doing that for a long time until it becomes automatic, until you do that thing unconsciously, it now an automatic habit? Also talk about the 5 a.m. rule. So what's the 5 a.m. rule? By the way, he wrote a book, The 5 a.m. Club, and I would advise that you get a copy of that book also. The 5 a.m. rule means you wake up an hour before every other person. You wake up by 5 a.m. and your mind is settled, your mind is calm, you're able to meditate, you're able to exercise, you're able to plan your day better. It says waking up early puts you ahead of the world. While the world is still sleeping, you are awake, you're planning, you're drafting your day, you're meditating, you're speaking to yourself in the best time of the day. Everyone who is able to practice this become more productive within the day. And remember that if you can practice this for 66 days, it will become automatic and you will not need to struggle between waking up or sleeping, and you will not feel like you're hot in your bed by waking up by 5 a.m. This is a habit that successful people practice, and those who have changed the world have taken note of the fact that you must be ahead of the world if you must change the world. So what is the last lesson I've learned from the World Changers Manifesto? Let's go. The last lesson I've learned from this book is all changes are hard at the beginning, messy in the middle, but beautiful at the end. Yes, it's not easy being a world changer because it's demanding, it's taxing, but you should know that it might be hard at the beginning, messy at the end, but beautiful. Discipline is what you need to be able to change the world. There are a lot of lessons that you will need to apply. There are a lot of things that you will need to do if you must be a world changer. But these were just a few. This is less than 1/3 of what is written in this book. So I would advise that you get a copy of The World Changers Manifesto by Robin Sharma. Read through this book. It is super, super, super exciting. You would be motivated, your spirit will be high, and you would have a new energy to face the day and also your dreams. Thank you so much for staying tuned to this episode of Book Review with Shalom. Hope to see you on the next episode where we get to discuss another author and another book where we learn and share our ideas together. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification button so that you can get notified when another exciting episode drops. And also you can freely chat me up on Instagram at Book Review with Shalom, where we get to hear your takes, your view on this video, and even on the book. Remember to leave a comment on the comment section, and see you on the next episode. For now, bye.